Hey everyone, this is Corey at Aquarium Co-op. Today I want to show you Amano shrimp. They're an algae-eating shrimp. And so if we look, the first things we want to look at is we want to see what an algae-eating shrimp or Amano shrimp looks like. And so you see here they're really spotted. They kind of always have that line going down the back, and they tend to get bigger than your average, cherry shrimp or something like that. So a lot of places sell algae-eating shrimp. Algae-eating shrimp are not the same thing as Amano shrimp. And the wholesale list, stuff like that, they sell it, they're really cheap, but it's not the same thing. And Amano shrimp is about the best algae eater out there as far as shrimp go. And so now you kind of know what they look like. That's what you're looking for if you're ever looking for them. And they're kind of small and moving around, so my camera's trying to refocus on them, so hopefully you're getting good images between the refocusing here. I'm trying to keep it stable. But you can see them, fighting with the plecos and stuff to get food. Well, not fighting, but they all just want to eat that algae wafer that I put in there so that I can bring them all together. So the other thing to know about Amano shrimp, they are only good algae eaters when they're hungry. If I put a bunch of food in here, if I'm feeding a bunch of fish, they're going to eat the fish poop, they're going to eat the leftover food, stuff like that. They're not going to be that good of an algae eater. So they work best when they are very hungry. It's also one of the few things that will eat blackbeard algae, and the trick to that is you just can't feed the tank, and so you kind of have to starve the whole tank. They'll start chowing down on the blackbeard algae. Eventually you're going to win that war. Maybe you start feeding them once or twice a week just so that the other tank inhabitants can get food, but these guys will polish that off. They also eat hair algae, stuff like that. It's a slow and yet effective method to do it. By adding this to your tank, you don't have to use any chemicals, stuff like that, and you kind of have just a passive algae control going. And typically these can be found about $3. That's where I see them at most stores. That's what I sell them for. Maybe a little more online, stuff like that, but most planted tanks these days, I would say, are using Amano shrimp. One of the other cool things about them is they're not going to crossbreed with any other type of shrimp that you would normally keep. So, cherry shrimp, crystal shrimp, all the variants of both of those, Singapore's, all that, they're all going to not cross with these guys. And to breed them, you actually have to get them to berry up, and then they hatch out into larvae, the eggs do, instead of like little baby shrimp. And they have to hatch out in brackish water, and so it's a pretty difficult setup. Most hobbyists will never breed them. There's a few here and there that do it as a rite of passage, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when it's this cheap, and it can be done on a massive scale, which is what makes sense. There's someone probably making 10 million of these a year, and when you have the setup to do that, it makes sense. But if you just want to make one batch, it's going to be a very long time. It's going to take you 6 months to grow them out, all that, all so you can save a few bucks. So do it for rite of passage, but don't do it for monetary value, because it only works on a big scale. But so yeah, Amano shrimp, great addition to most planted tanks. Super hardy, not finicky about water parameters or temperature or anything like that. So yeah, if you're having some algae problems on plants, stuff like that, I recommend you give it a try. Until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later.